recording.
Okay.
I didn't realize we were already recording. At Backside Attack.
Avec Sabe.
It's been a little while, buddy.
It has.
It's been a little bit of time. We had multiple things happen.
Yeah.
Number one, you were busy because you had an audit with work, which always takes forever. Two audits, because that's the job you do is not exactly. Let's see. How can I put this in the politest way possible? You work with a lot of people who are loosey goosey with the rules.
Yeah, it's just audits are not hard; they're just time consuming. That's it. So, one audit I got back, and so I have to make corrections on it. So,
but it seems like you guys are like the line of defense for people to not accidentally kill themselves at work.
Yeah.
So you have to and it seems like you're always. I mean, I'm trying to be nice as possible to the people who you audit, but it's like losing a finger is a hazard that is not few and far between.
No, there's
there we go.
And I think it's not even think about forget incidents, right? Take incidents. Okay, if you get into an incident, no matter, let's say let's say something hit you on the shoulder or something, or fell off a shelf or something, that's an incident. That's a recordable incident, right?
Yeah.
The more you have of those, or the more people they take their trucks, they're negligent, they just back them into that. That's an incident. They back up into another truck. That's an incident. That's a reportable incident, right? The more you do things like things that are just easily avoidable, those stats get have to be entered into your they get into your pre-qualification websites, and they get entered to WCB, like medical aids, first aid, all that stuff. So that all, when they do that, there's actually a number you can calculate. Mm-hmm. To say because what you're trying to find out is your total recordable incident frequency. That's the number you're trying to find out. So when a company another company wants to do business with you, they don't want to say here's let me see all your safety stats and let me see all your incidents. They don't have to do any of that. You just show them your total recordable incident frequency number. If it's above 0, that's not a good sign.
That's terrible.
That's terrible.
It to the layman, I think, to really break down who they could probably identify you as is you are pre-Tyler Durden, Edward Norton in Fight Club.
Okay, yeah.
All that data crunching he's got to do.
Yeah.
To make sure that they're paying out the right amount of money, and everybody's that whole thing he's talking about how there's a certain number that you have to hit, and a certain number you don't want.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'll take that all day.
Yeah, for sure. Right? Because that seems like what he was doing, with the car accidents and all that kind of crap he's doing with the payouts.
Yeah.
Where you really have to who is the worst risk person. And in your cases, who is the worst risk business? Mm-hmm. And then you kind of have to analyze that and report back to this company. Yeah, back to this database.
Yeah, I'd say the people who are most guilty of it, for lack of a better term, are new workers and old workers.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah, so new workers are they think they're invincible, and old workers are we don't need to do that. It's just I've been in the industry long enough, and then next thing you know, they're down face first in a ditch.
It really is. The most cavalier people usually end up face first in a ditch, and the older people who are super complacent end up face down in a ditch.
Yeah, it's people are just safety's come a long way. I was there was a sorry, I don't want to cut you off.
No. I was just gonna agree with you. No, absolutely.
Yeah, it was non-existent basically in the it was up until maybe the 80s, I think, even 90s maybe. There was one guy, one of my other clients, he didn't, he came up to me one day, that was my last day, working for this company, and I think it was the last time I wasn't going to see him, and it ended up being the last time I did see him, or anyone saw him. He just said, he goes, yeah, my doctor said or someone said I might have mesothelioma. I'm like,
oh,
and I was like, yeah, and I was like, what? And he goes, what is that? And I was like, he didn't explain it to you? And he's like, he tried to, and he said it's kind of it's
built up in the lungs, right?
Yeah,
from hazardous materials.
It's from his was from exposure to asbestos.
Asbestos, yeah.
So that stuff is and what's in solid state, what's in solid state, and it's put into a wall and stuff like that, then it's fine, right? But when it's disturbed and it goes into the air, and you're not wearing any PPE, you're not wearing glasses, dust mask, whatever, if you inhale that stuff, the thing is each fiber is 0 point something microns thin.
Yeah.
And you can't see it.
Oh, it'll get through your your
and it goes
shit mask.
Yeah, and it goes right through. Yeah, it'll go through your shit mask, like an N95 or something like that.
Yeah.
or it could, and then it goes. And when you inhale it, it attaches itself to your lungs. And then I don't
know if anybody hasn't seen it, but like like a bottle cleaner looks like. It's microscopically, it looks like a bottle cleaner.
Yeah,
it's just like nothing but fibers. Yeah, and just nothing but like reckless invasion to your body.
Yeah, and then once it gets into and the thing is, even if like you have it, no surgeon can get in there and like pluck them out because they're too small, and so it's like it continues to scar away at your lungs, and then you develop a lung cancer, and then it apparently. Then I found out a year later that it killed him.
Yeah, that's unsurprising. There were so many stories like that. I mean, look at what happened with if you want to like. If people don't realize how dangerous a workplace can be, look at baker's lung.
Yeah.
Baker's lung is a real thing, or people who work with like flour in the air have this buildup in their lungs that just like messes them up from the inside out.
It just clogs it up in their lungs.
That's just flour.
Yeah.
So there are materials out there, man-made, so that were meant to be like positive. They were meant to like save lives. Like asbestos was meant to save lives. But it also was built with like very minimal research of what it's going to do to the human body.
Oh yeah,
and used for decades.
Oh yeah, like I have, there's videos. I took an asbestos course, and I sat in on it because I had nothing else to do, and it was it's eye opening. Like back in the early 19th century, and then leading into the 20th century, and like Canada was a big export. Canada was, and I think still is, a big exporter of it. One of their biggest clients of it is India. And when you see people in India working with it, they're not wearing PPE and stuff like that, right? They're just shoveling it with it's flying in the air, and they're just shoveling it in there. And those people are dead now for sure.
For sure, they're
guaranteed they are.
I mean, India has got zero respect for their working class.
No,
like at all. I was there in 2016, 2015, and there was a fella who was working on the sewage line wearing flip flops. Like basically a sarong, because it's that little robe, like cloth skirt type kilty things that most people wear because it's so hot.
Yeah. A
t-shirt and a pickaxe. He couldn't find somebody to look after his calf. Like he had like a tiny little calf, so he brought it with him to work and tied it to the back of the truck that he's going to drive around because he knew like nobody could steal his truck. He had the keys. But that was just like a regular run of the mill, like digging a ditch for a sewage line kind of guy.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm anti flip flop. I just think yeah. Well, I am because it's like you shouldn't. Like they're good for the beach. That's it.
I wear them for yard work.
Yeah, and for yard work.
I'm terrible. Like I don't like wearing shoes ever.
But you should not be wearing them when you're walking around the street and stuff like that.
No,
right?
that's just you're gonna lose a toe.
Well, also because like it's like you're exposing your feet to like all the stuff that's on the street and stuff like that, right?
That's me anyway.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I mean, like I think for me, it's one of those.
Well, you're pretty much indestructible, so.
Well, I am like some sort of caveman rock golem.
Well, Flintstones didn't wear shoes either. So.
Flintstones didn't wear shoes either. But like when you open a door in like a regular 7-Eleven when you're walking down the street and you see a 7-Eleven, you're like, I'm gonna get a Slurpee, and you open the door and the thing hits your boot and you're like, oh, I didn't feel jack shit because I was wearing a boot or like a shoe. If you're in a flip flop, it's gonna take the top of your toe right off.
Yeah,
it's just like regular stuff that happens to people when they wear flip flops.
Yeah, like when I went to Europe, when I was in London, I was wearing flip flops all the time. Ooh. And I just because it depends on which one you're wearing, but like I was wearing they're just flat ones like this.
Just slide your foot in the little band.
Yeah, and I'm like, no, I can't wear those anymore. They're just.
I never had confidence in the one that's just like the strap that goes over your foot, like the Adidas and Nike. They make those like little strap. You just kind of like put your foot in like a slipper.
Oh, I love those.
Yeah, I never had confidence that was going to stay on my foot. Like I've got, like I said, everybody kind of knows I got those monkey feet. I just grab onto the thing, the little thong that goes in there. The thongs, I like a thong flip flop.
Yeah, I like those because those are so comfortable because they have those little beads at the bottom.
Yeah, they rub
your
feet.
I love those. Those are so good. Yeah,
I was never big on those. Yeah. I couldn't do that. I don't know, something about those, just like the whole thing, and everybody had them. Maybe that was it too. I was like, yeah, everybody else got them.
Every step was like a massage. You're like,
I'm not big like a joiner of like a consumer. I should preface that by saying today I did like a impulse buy that blew up my face. So there was some consumerism in me today.
What'd you buy?
T-shirt that I shouldn't have bought.
Oh.
I was gonna buy an Atari. Hey, look, I'm wearing it now. I was gonna buy an Atari T-shirt today. A really nice Atari T-shirt. I was at Old Navy. I was buying some stuff for my nephew, little guy, and I saw an Atari T-shirt for little kids, and I saw the corresponding adults size. So I was like, wouldn't it be great if I showed up in London with one for him and one for me? We'd be twinsies. Even though he's like a little golden god. He's only half Indian, so he's got like the blonde hair. The kid he's like a surfer.
Oh, he looks like Adam Warlock.
He looks like Adam Warlock, just glowing.
Yeah.
So I was gonna buy the corresponding T-shirt. I'm like, no, it's $24. I'm not gonna buy it. It's not exactly what I want anyway. And then I was at Marshalls getting some other stuff. No shout outs to you companies because you don't give us no money. No. But I don't
want anything from Marshalls.
Yeah, I don't want anything from Marshalls anyway. Yeah. It's good to buy cheap stuff for when you're going on vacation, and that's it. If you can find really cheap stuff.
I would just go to H&M.
Yeah, H&M's better. You're right. It is cheaper. Much better.
It's so cheap, yeah, and you're getting that quality. So.
And good quality stuff.
Or Uniqlo.
Uniqlo's great too. I should start going to Uniqlo.
Yeah.
So yeah, I went to the Marshalls and I saw a Toronto Blue Jays shirt that looked really nice. I was like, Blue Jays! Love the Jays! I bought it, and the shirt was garbage. And I don't know why I didn't try it on, because I'm not the kind of guy who tries things on in stores.
I don't really try things on either. I just buy it and then I take it home and I'm like, because then I can try, because I like to try on things. Sorry to cut you off. But
no, this is part of the conversation.
Yeah, so I just like to take things home with me and then look at compared to what I have in my closet.
Yes,
I'm okay. It goes with this, and okay. I can use this for, it's something that can go with. It's versatile.
It's a versatile piece of.
Yeah, so then I'm like, you know what? Then I'll take it, right? And then, but if it doesn't go with anything, I'll just put it in my car, and the next time I'm around that store. Just return it.
And then see, that's the way I should do it, because now in my head I'm thinking, now the ride back to Marshalls is probably going to cost like $3 in gas, because gas is like $6,000 a liter, so it's going to cost me that much just to go back and return it. But now you're right. I'm just going to leave it in my car.
Yep.
When I'm in the area, it goes back to the store.
Exactly.
I did this too. Water bottles. I was on a road trip, so I bought this stupid water bottle.
I have to admit this is a great deal.
Well,
it's already paid for.
Refillable.
Yeah, it's paid for itself already. So.
Hey, look at that. Same as he's drinking time.
Yeah.
How's your week, buddy? Otherwise.
Good. It just work-wise good, and yeah, man, just continue to try to drop the pounds. So.
You've been doing a pretty good job. You're on the bike a lot this week. You're really dialing in.
Yeah, the pace is good. Like today I went. Yeah, pace is good. I'm not getting super tired at the end. I'm not like, oh, I'm just gonna go to sleep, whatever that. No, the pace is really, really good. Feel strong. Don't tire out. Don't certain parts where you're going to do inclines. You're like, sometimes I'm like, hey, this is the part where I'm like just gonna coast for a bit and take a break. And no, I just power right through.
Right through.
Yeah.
The neighborhood that you go through, that we went through that one time. It's got its ups and downs. It's got stretches and a little bit of hills and
it's
nothing crazy, but it's
it's
enough to get you.
It's honestly, just that, because the one, it's the same. It's the route that I usually take you on. The last time we went riding, I think it was like a year and a half ago or something, or 2 years ago. Yeah. So it was probably 2 years ago.
I think so.
And but yeah, it's just like city riding, no problem. There's moments where you can catch speed. Now, depending upon how hard you're going, depending on your heart rate, you're going to be places where you're either if your heart rate's at a certain beats per minute, you're either doing more strength training, or when it gets higher and higher, it's more of a weight loss. You're in the weight loss phase, basically, right? So, so I should try to push as hard as I can, especially on Millwoods Road. When I come out from Notwood Road, and then I'm on Millwoods Road going east by this place, and I'm just powering right through. When I see the Goodwater, when I'm going through there, I'm like, I just go right, and then that's
some nice stretches there.
Yeah, and that's kind of there's an uphill gradient, but yeah, you just try to just push through as hard as you can, and then just when you go around like that to the left, you just I'm just like that, I just go like that.
It's a very Edmonton conversation, but if anybody is in our neighborhood, they know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah,
everybody in this part of town has been on that road multiple times.
Yeah,
so yeah, there is a good uphill before the park on the side, and then it's just, but it's a stretch, right? You can really just press.
Oh yeah, you get once you get up the incline, and you're good, just gear down, and then just go hard.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I've noticed lately, speaking of health and taking care of yourself, maybe it's the algorithm. Once you start reading about a few things and more things keep popping up about people getting into shape and whatnot. But there is this this almost a 5 things you should eat or hacks to do after a certain age. There's a lot of that online right now that people are trying to come up with ways that you can minimize your workout time but maximize your results. I just don't believe in that. I'm not a believer in that.
Yeah, I
don't buy into that idea that there's a cheat to get into really good shape.
I think it's so dependent upon people's It's so dependent on the person.
Absolutely. There's no one blanket. Rule.
What works for you is probably could not work for me, and vice versa, right?
Well, case in point, drinking.
Yeah,
we were just this morning talking about how we drink, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like with you, you were saying you have to eat something.
I have to have something in my system, yeah.
Otherwise,
or my system gets too acidic and it's
the worst.
It'll just whatever's in my system, it gets too acidic and then pops it right out.
Yeah, and whereas me, if I eat anything before I drink, I'm just drunk for days.
Yeah,
I can't do it. It's like I'll feel it tomorrow. I'll feel it the day after tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So, which is a big part of why I just don't drink anymore. Because I also like to eat a lot of food.
Yeah. I find if I don't puke, the next day's a write off. If I'm drinking really hard. So yeah, and like I talked about this with my uncle. Like they were saying like how a lot of my relatives and even some of a lot of my relatives like in England and they're just like these guys are like they drink like a lot. Like on the weekend is like a time to drink.
Yeah.
Like we don't like everyone in Edmonton like we don't, so like the only time we do it is during a reception or a wedding, and then we go absolutely hard, and then that's it for that one weekend, and then we wait until the next one, or like I'll have
you like pick the day you want to drink.
Exactly. Just power through that day. So yeah, I don't I'm not a heavy, I can't take it. My body's just like I'm too old for that.
I mean, I don't even know if it's like too old for that. Maybe you just got into a routine where you take such good care of yourself that it is a poison going into your system.
It is.
You don't do it all the time. Like we talked about it last time. I've got a few friends that I've kind of reconnected with in the last little while that I knew since high school or whatever it is. And these guys have been power drinking since we were in high school. Like every night or every other night, whatever it is an excuse to just get ripped. Like the second work is done, it's 5 o'clock somewhere, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
And it's like they're all right. Like the next morning they're functional. But if I drank like what those guys do just for a weekend, forget about it, man. Like I don't drink like that anymore. I never really did. And now when that becomes an option where I'm going to go out, like we got a wedding coming up where I'm probably going to put a few in. And I'm dreading that idea to the point where I might not even drink at the wedding.
Yeah, you know what, man? Just let loose, man.
Yeah,
just go there and let the circumstances dictate everything.
But the circumstances dictate the following morning is what really gets me. It's like I feel like that whole day is such a write-off.
Well, the thing is that you're going there to have a good time, right? So maximize your good time.
Can I do without drinking? I think I can.
No, you don't have to get drunk.
No, but anything will do to me. Like these days, if I have, say, like 2 drinks, or if I have 15 drinks, the next day is the same for me.
Oh, then just if everyone else is drinking and you're not, and you're like, come on, do you have a drink with us? Then you have to have one.
If everybody else jumped off a bridge, would you do it?
Yeah. So
probably.
Yeah. So that's what I do. Like if someone says like, where's your drink? And I'm like, fuck. I'm like, yeah, let's just have one, right? And then but I'm the first person to admit when if there's a group chat at the wedding, I'm like, yeah, I can't lie. I threw up yesterday.
Well, I mean, you know what? It's not even a matter that you're lying about. You're just honest with what's going on in the system.
Because I think it's hilarious.
Yeah, but it is kind of funny.
I think it is.
I think it's kind of funny. I think it's fun. I'm not funny. It's fun stories.
Yeah, and I'm a gentleman about it. Like when I was on the way home from Gertage's wedding, I was like, I told my uncle, I'm like, Uncle, can you do me a favor? And he's like, what is it? I'm like, you just pull aside for 1 second. And I was like, sure. And he's like, I went out. So I was like, yeah, just 1 second. And so I got out the door. I emptied out. And he was turning the car around. But before he turned the car around, I was ready to go back in the car. I was like, okay, I'm all good to go.
That is gentlemanly. Yeah. That was very courteous.
Yeah. And then when I got back.
Not throw up in your car.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah. And then when I got home, I was lying down. And I was like, oh, shit. And I got up. And I went to the washroom. And I puked out everything. There was about a liter of alcohol that came out of me.
Oh, my God. But you feel so much better.
Oh, and there was no solids. It was all liquid.
Yeah. I don't care what anybody says, man. It's like the second you vomit. Life
I slept
infinitely better.
Oh yeah, I slept like a baby. I woke up, I was all refreshed. I'm like, yeah, let's go. Ready to go again.
Yeah, oh God. I think because I kind of feel like for me it's the company. I'm not there for the alcohol, I'm there for the company.
Oh, I totally agree. Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure at this point now, like I mean, I've gone out a few times with these guys and I haven't had anything to drink. And it's back to that where I can be there and have a good time and enjoy the conversation, enjoy the company to a point. Mm-hmm. At some point, usually around like 12:30, everybody is so gooned that the conversation is just like these soliloquies of drunken slurring. It's like there's like monologues.
12:30, wow, 12:30. That's late.
And it's late, man. By 12:30, they are just like obliterated and like obliterated. And they've been drinking since like before I got there. Mm-hmm. Like, they have started from like 5:30, 6 o'clock. I usually show up around like 9. And the 3 to 4 hours I'm there for, it's just like pound, wasted.
Holy, yeah. Yeah, we're usually done by like 10. And we're like, everyone's just like ready. Everyone, like, the Cape party's getting started. Let's go. And we'll just like go on until we're forced to get, until they throw us out of there.
Until they get rid of you. Yeah, but you guys like start late, go late.
We start early. And we start early and go late.
Yeah, no, I start late, and I hope that it's like done by the time I get there. Like that's always my thing. It's like I'm gonna show up late, and hopefully everybody is so freaking gone by the time I get over there that I'll be like, all right, cool, everybody's wasted. I'm out of here. Anybody need a ride? No, nobody came. Later, bye.
Oh yeah, like I'm like first of all, the first thing I do is like I put on my phone. I'm like, hey, where am I staying tonight? If my ride's leaving and I have to crash someone's place, I'm like, let's figure this out. Okay, you're staying with me for the rest of the night because we're going home together. And so I'll stick with my cousin or whatever. He's like, yeah, just crash at my place. I'm like, okay, fine. Wherever we're going, we go together. Yeah. So yeah,
that's always good too, though. I mean, there are certain times that you are with people who you trust, and then you can kind of let loose.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And that's always the best way to go. And maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's lately I have not been with people who I feel like I can 100% trust in the situation I'm in, whether or not I'm the DD, in which case I'm not drinking, or like I've gone out somewhere and met up with people because like we were in the general vicinity, and it's like, I don't trust those people either. So I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna drink.
Yeah, there's like besides family and friends, like I'm very careful who I drink around.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, like or like if I'm drinking around people, I'm just like I'll drink. I'm like, or I'll just tell them like exactly. I'm like, I'll be like, well, where's your drink? And they're like, oh, I'm done. Like I'm finished. I'm like, hey, you're fucking. I'm not talking to you anymore because you're fucking useless.
I'm done. I'm finished. I'm gone. It's like, you're goon and no longer at a point where I can have a good conversation with you.
Yeah, even at our staff party in November, a Christmas party, I was like, everyone's like, yeah, I'm gonna drink. I'm gonna do this, and I'm like, Roger, you gonna drink? And I'm like, I will. I said, I'm not gonna drink, but I will definitely outdrink all of you.
Oh God, that's rough.
Yeah. I just threw the gauntlet down. I'm like, okay, let's see I just said, okay, let's see how much, because I said, I'm not sure how much you guys drink, but when my family and I get together, I'm like, you guys are going home in body bags. Okay, so, and then so
that guy's going home in a body bag.
And I said, and I will definitely, and I'll be able to drive home.
Oh God.
Dude. No, this is what happens. So because the thing is, like, if you do, all you have to do is just space it out. That's all you have to do.
Oh no, yeah, I get that. No, because a lot of people don't realize that in their mind it's binge drinking. Yeah, when they go to drink.
It's not.
It shouldn't be that.
No,
it should be like a great example is we went on a camping trip one time, and the whole idea that me and a buddy of mine had was 12 or 24 beers in 12 hours, and then like halfway through we're like, we're amateurs, man. We can't do that. So it became like
in 12 hours.
Yeah, in 12 hours.
Oh, you're gonna piss all it out. So
it's all gonna go right. But we were eating a lot of food, so it got to the point where we thought, well, what if we like layer that down like 12 beers in 12 hours. Forget 24. Yeah. But once you hit 12 and 24 and you make it something like workable, you're drinking a lot of water, you're playing a lot of sports, you're having a good time. Before you realize it, you've worked most of that out, and then you've eaten all your days worth, like, this is barbecue, it's all meat. You're not eating a lot of like carbs.
Meat, bread, and
no carbs. It was all pork.
All pork? Oh.
I brought about 20 pounds of marinated pork that I let marinate for like 2 days in garlic butter and beer.
I found with barbecues I have to have white bread with it.
Really? Well, that's
pure Texas stuff.
That's Blues Brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dry white toast.
Yeah, dry white toast. Yeah, you need that.
Whole chicken.
You need that thick Texas cut. Yeah. I love that with barbecue.
I just love that in general
because you can mop up the sauce.
Well, that's what it's there for.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, weirdly that you mentioned that. Today was the Cook's Tour episode of him going to do all the barbecue.
Oh, really?
Oh man, Bourdain eating barbecue. He did that whole pig where they like take the pig and they just like roast it and flip it over and rip all the insides out and mix it all together in the spices and put it back in.
Yeah.
And the crackled skin.
I know, man.
Oh, man.
I
don't know, man. I'm not saying that it's wrong to not eat pork. There's people who do it for religious reasons. There's people who do it because like they just don't like the idea of like a pig eats. Yeah. Whatever it is. Y'all are missing out because like Travolta was right. Bacon tastes good.
Bacon does
pork
taste
chops
good.
Taste good.
Bacon does taste good. I can live without it because you can't. What? No, I can live without it. I totally can. Like, but when I have it, it's great. But I remember we were my whole family and we took a trip to we were in California and we rented this mansion in Malibu, and actually for the amount of people like for 3 days for each person was like it was like maybe $90.
Well, how big was it? Big group.
Yeah, it was a big group, and then every room in the house had a washroom, and it was crazy. It was like it was kind of an old school house. It could look like it was built in the 80s, but it was massive,
like a Hearst mansion type thing.
Yeah, exactly. And then, but the thing is that there was menorahs everywhere.
Oh.
And so we're like, hey, this is a Jewish house, right? But then all my cousins were like cooking bacon for breakfast.
Oh man!
And then like at the end, the last day, we were like,
that feels dirty.
Yeah. Then like it was for Christmas too, and then during Christmas, because Christmas without snow is weird, and so we're like the last day, we're like everyone's eating plantain and stuff like that, and eating food. And I'm like, my cousin's like, he's like, let's not. I don't want to eat this for Christmas dinner and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, where do you want to go? And he's like, there's a Nobu, just like on the beach.
All right.
Malibu Beach, right? Yeah. Nobu is like a very, very good restaurant. And we went there. And then, I don't know why, he's like, I think we picked up more bacon afterwards. And then then in the morning we were leaving, we're like, we have so much bacon left. What are we going to do with this?
Oh, no.
So we cooked it all. And the entire house just reeked.
Oh,
I shouldn't say reeked. It smelled of bacon, which was
bacon
delicious.
Smells heavenly.
Oh, yeah, it does.
There's no reek of bacon. If you open a door and get hit in the face, two smells. If you get in the face, it's going to make you happy. And I don't care what anybody says. Fresh baked bread and bacon.
Yeah.
And maybe cookies.
Yeah.
But it's definitely third. Bread and bacon is number 1 and 2.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. Then I was like, my cousin goes like, I said, we're going to get in shit for like cooking all this bacon in here.
Man,
and then he goes, if they say anything, he's like, I'll pay the damage deposit.
Well, what are you gonna say? Like, if you have your place out for rent on a VRBO or Airbnb?
Oh no, I think that was the stipulation. She said no cooking bacon in the house.
Oh really? Oh, so it was in there like no bacon.
No bacon. So I think he paid like $1,000 for like.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't like that. If you have stipulations like that, like no, don't cook bacon, don't cook beef, don't rent your house out.
Oh, I think it's like because I think they were okay with us cooking it outside.
No, I don't care.
But we cooked it inside. I don't know what it was, but I'm like, I don't care. We ate it anyway. So.
Make it anyway. I don't think so. I don't think you can put that kind of thing on there. It's like unless you put on there like you're only renting the people of a certain religious like organization, group, whatever you want to call it. What's the word for when you're in a religion? They call you like there's a name for the group of people who practice religion.
Adherent?
No, maybe. No, that's not the word I was gonna think of.
It is adherent. Like Muslims have like.
Well, you are an adherent of a religion.
Yeah.
But there's like you are there's a name for when you're a group of people in a religion. Yeah.
A sect.
Maybe a certain sect. No, let's use sect. I like sect. Insect. No, it's like if you are a certain sect of people and you're like, oh, we're only renting to these people because it's the same religion and I don't want no bacon in my house. Then you've got to you got to go on like that website. You can't go on VRBO. It's got to be like menorahhouse.com.
Well, we had the option to say no. So we said if they said no cooking bacon in the house, we could have said no. But like that house was just it was right on the beach, and what's it called? Oh, I saw it on the beach. I even told you this. I can't remember. I can't believe I didn't tell you this. You know, I saw a man on the beach.
No idea.
You won't even believe it.
Oscar the Grouch.
No.
Just like Chevy Chase in Fletch gear. Fletch 1, Chevy Chase. Fletch 2, Chevy Chase. Just roller skating. That old man costume. Mm-hmm. That was Fletch 1, Chevy Chase.
Yeah. I know because he was away from me and I waved at him.
It was Chevy Chase.
No. You know who it was?
Bill Murray. Jeffrey Dahmer.
Musician.
Pete Wentz.
Pete Wentz. Holy crap. You know who it was?
No, man.
Matt Bellamy.
Oh, get out of town.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. That's where he just got divorced from Goldie Hawn's daughter.
Oh, that's a good divorce.
Yeah.
I don't know. She seems like a nice girl.
Yeah, I saw him there. I was like, I just went, hey, Matt. And he looked at me and I was like, and I just waved to him. I'm like, Matt, huge fan. And he was already walking with someone. And he just waved at me. He said, thanks, brother. And he just walked away.
Just heroin chic.
Yeah.
Looking like a live action member of the Gorillaz. Mm-hmm. Walking on the street. Just doing his Matt Bellamy thing.
Did you see the new Muse concert that came out in Germany? Not. Oh my god!
Oh no,
crazy.
actually I did because you shared that.
Oh no, this just came out a couple of days ago.
Oh, the newest one.
Yeah. Oh my god, it's crazy.
I've not seen that.
Yeah, they there was this scene where he's playing he comes out and he's playing they played some of the new songs and then like they were playing all the hits from their old albums, and then he came out and he was wearing like this. Like, you know, remember in Simulation 3, he was wearing that jacket that goes with the beat?
Yeah, kind of one that glows and stuff.
So every time there's a beat, it just glows. Yeah. And he came out with the Power Glove, and there was actually a synthesizer on it.
Oh, get
a
out of town.
touchpad, and he was playing "Behold the Glove," like, and he was just doing it like on his glove like that. It was so crazy.
They're a very like innovative band, like everything about, and you know, with the times too. I think the last one.
And he was also playing Uprising. That little, he's like,
oh, he had that little pad.
Yeah, no, that pad. I was like, holy shit, that's just incredible.
The best guitarist of his generation.
Yeah, he's up there.
I can't think of anybody else right now that you can tell me is doing innovative work like what Muse is doing, and not just best guitarist, best bassist. They've got this this duo, this power duo in music right now that I think is super underrated. If you don't know about Muse, you got to start learning about Muse. Power duo.
Yeah, I think they just start watching their live shows.
Yeah, like, well, who else is out there? What other? I mean, forget about Gary Clark Jr. and all these other guys that people really like right now. They're very basic, traditional. They do some wild shit with their guitar,
and they're great.
And they're great.
I would put like Matthew Bellamy. Like, he's probably my favorite guitarist.
I think he's number one for me right now. As far as like real musical innovation goes, every track sounds different. Every live show has got some other wild shit he's gonna do.
Yeah,
like just crazy stuff that you're like, well, I know a lot of people can do it, but they're not doing it, and Bellamy is doing it.
Yeah, what's that
Muse
guy?
is doing it.
Yeah, who's that? That's Steve
Vai.
Steve Vai's good too.
Steve Vai of his era.
Yeah.
Steve Vai, Joe Satriani,
Yep.
Yngwie Malmsteen. These guys in their era were the gods.
Yeah, and who was the guy from Red Hot Chili Peppers? That was
Frusciante,
yeah.
I mean,
he's pretty good too. Yeah.
Again, really good. Different era. I mean, I kind of feel like they're still around. They're still there. But, I mean, they kind of had their day. And sure, I think like guys like Bellamy kind of built up on what these guys are doing.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Especially like if you look at Steve Vai and Satriani and Yngwie Malmsteen. There were this certain era of these like wild guitar gods of like the mid-90s, early 90s.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Surfing with the Alien.
Oh, yeah. No
Phenomenal.
kidding.
You can't tell me that didn't influence Muse.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Muse was influenced by like definitely like Depeche Mode, Radiohead.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, they're just U2. They take a lot of cues from them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but
Absolutely.
Speaking of Depeche Mode, R.I.P. for
R.I.P. buddy.
Yeah.
Just recently,
Andrew
right? Last
Fletcher.
week?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just read that and I was like, oh, that's a big loss.
Huge loss. I went home and I just listened to Depeche Mode all night. Yeah.
Oh man, people don't realize Depeche Mode is still relevant. Like they're still touring.
They're still touring.
Well, I mean, they took the COVID break, but they're still touring in huge tours all over Europe.
Yeah.
So if you just thought it ended with Revolver, or was that Revolver? That was the last big one in North America. Everybody kind of remembers.
Oh no, that was after Tour of the Universe. There was oh my god, what was it? Am I stupid?
Was it after though?
Yeah.
I'm thinking like people generally in their head think of Depeche Mode as being like an 80s band. At least in North America.
Yeah.
But it was like they dominated from the 80s all the way to like the 2000s to now, like doing stadium tours in Europe.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what you don't have here anymore. Like we have not got, I don't think.
Spirit.
Maybe Spirit.
Yeah, that's the last album. Yeah.
You don't think about those kind of tours in North America outside of like what U2 kind of did there for like the early 2000s. Like Zooropa and what was the other big one?
There was the
they had those two really not Elevation. Was
Elevation,
right?
yeah.
So those two big tours they did were huge, but they weren't anything like what happens in Europe.
Oh yeah, like U2 is just they're great, but I honestly like U2's music has just suffered for the past like maybe
20 years.
20 years.
I'll say 20 years.
Yeah, like I think my last album that I really liked from them was honestly
All That You Can't Leave Behind. That was it. It ends for me there.
It is for you there?
For me,
it was before that.
I think that's it. I think you can. My catalog for U2. They had the one after that.
Oh, I think mine was what's it called? What's that album with the fly on it?
Oh, Dead Air. I can't remember the name.
Even Better Than the Real Thing. That came out when I was in junior high.
Was that?
What's the name of that fucking album?
Yeah, but that is the
that's how much I listen to U2.
Yeah, no, for me it ends. It goes all the way up until that big greatest hits compilation they did right after, like right around the time of All They Can't Leave Behind. Achtung Baby.
Jesus Christ.
Right.
Yeah.
No, a great album too.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable album.
I had the cover of that posted on my locker.
Everybody did.
Yeah,
that was a good cover.
Yeah, and the details of where Bono's like just lighting a cigarette. I have that picture on my locker.
I knew a guy who took heat for having the cover of Boy on his locker because he's like, gay. I'm like, no, man, you don't know. You have no idea. That's a cool image. Like, like a war child. Like, that's a pretty cool idea.
Yeah.
But no, I think that's it. It ends there. And everything else they did after that is just something that exists in a parallel dimension that just does its own thing. Random little hits. And they did that thing where they forced people to download their album on Apple Music.
Oh, God. Yeah, no kidding.
Or you bought an iPhone, it was already there. And everybody's like, well, what the hell is this?
I hate YouTube. It's
your free album.
It's your free album. Like, no, thank you.
I don't want this. This is awful.
No.
I don't like the way it looks. I don't like the way it sounds. I don't like anything about it. It's weird. You force it into my head.
Yeah.
It's forced into my playlist when I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah. Actually, I felt kind of bad because I was even make fun of those glasses that he always, those tinted glasses, but he actually has an eye problem.
A problem with his eyes?
Yeah. I was like, oh, shit. That was pretty bad.
No, I don't mind. I liked YouTube. I'll still listen to older YouTube, but for me, it's like, it kind of ends there. It's one of those things. Hey, I was talking this week to a bunch of people about how we're having the same arguments over and over and over again. Like it's become super cyclical now because I know like that gun control thing just got passed, or it's going up to maybe potentially being shot down, but it might pass, like bipartisan gun control.
Yeah.
But the idea is that and this kind of goes in line with your concept of the simulation theory, because I know you're a big believer in, or potentially you're allowing yourself to become more of a believer of simulation theory.
Yeah. Okay.
And the idea of simulation theory, kind of for me anyway, is that's why sometimes you get stuck in these ruts. Because the simulation won't let you get out of those ruts because we are just NPCs moving through the world. Yeah. And that's why we keep doing the same ideas over and over and over again.
Yeah, we're just bumping to a wall, moving on to the next thing.
We're a Roomba. Yeah. We're basically human Roombas.
Yeah.
You bump into a wall, you move back, you bump into a towel, you move back. And that's all we do.
Yeah, I think when you bump into the wall and you move it back, the reality has totally changed.
It's completely changed. Yeah. Well, that starts sitting in my head, right? So I start thinking about like the idea of gun control. And start thinking about the idea of like Roe versus Wade being repealed. How like gay rights, abortion, racism, all these things are still happening over and over again. I got in this weird like thought cycle that kind of freaked me out a little bit. But that's essentially, you don't know if you're crazy. Because nobody's, like, even if somebody tells you you're crazy, even if I'm standing here and we're having a conversation and you're being completely, like an unreliable narrator, and you're telling me the same stories over and over again, and maybe that camera's not really there. Maybe we're just, like, having a conversation. But you think the camera's there. You think that we're shooting a podcast, but we're not. But really, you're just, like, you're gonzo, man.
You're gonzo.
You're mentally completely out there, like an Alzheimer's patient or a dementia patient. They don't know.
They don't know. Yeah.
They don't know what's going on. They'll tell you the weirdest thing happened to them. An alien came from the sky and ate my taco. You're like, I don't know. Do I know? So all those things are really opening my eyes to, well, who knows? Maybe we are in some sort of weird ass simulation. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good point to labor over.
Yeah, it's a good point to labor over. But that's like, it all stems from this thought, this concept that we're just having the same arguments over and over again. And nothing ever changes.
No, nothing.
Like nobody grows. Nothing. Well, I thought you were.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Yeah.
Pull out like a thing to show me your card. Like,
yeah.
This is why we did LSD tests on Charles Manson.
Yeah. I was gonna pull it out. I'm like, I just gas you in this thing.
Oh, that's another one. Like Manson, the LSD tests. Yep. And that what was that? Tom, whatever his name is. He wrote that book about Charles Manson.
Yeah.
He did the podcast a few years ago.
Yep.
The whole concept that they're putting thoughts into people's heads with LSD and like real deep like NLP shit.
Yeah, I think when it comes to those ones, I think it's just curiosity and being allowed to get away with stuff that's not legal.
Oh, completely.
Yeah. So
or a loophole into being legal because you're the CIA.
Exactly. Yeah. So you're just like, you know what? This we've always wanted to try this, and these are outlandish ideas. They're like, because it's dangerous. Someone in a what's it called?
A bunker.
In a room just like from
The Men Who Stare at Goats. It's like looking at goats through a
window.
window.
Or from
fucking make him die.
Dr. Strangelove.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the war room.
The war room, basically, right? And they're just thinking about how can we? We've been through this many wars. We've seen this. We're on the outside looking into so many government secrets that nothing surprises me anymore. I'm like, what could be? What they're doing to people, what they're doing to because think about what they've been doing to people since after World War II. Think about that. That was how many years ago was that? That was 80 years ago.
Look at the Russian animal tests.
Yeah.
Like taking a dog's head, taking it off, then plugging it up to all these electrodes and shit.
And see if it
bark.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And I mean, that was stuff that was happening. What you think is just like, in my mind anyway, that seems like future science.
But it's also what piques your scientific curiosity? Is it because you want to learn something and help mankind, or you just want to find something that'll change human consciousness, or something that'll just like, what can we do to like make people suffer?
I've said it before, man. I'm convinced that concept of like how far are you willing to go with scientific like technology, like how far are you willing to push technology. I am convinced there's at least 1,000 human clones out there right now walking around. Like real straight up clones, man.
To be honest, I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, I think who's to stop some countries? Like
I think that's a fair statement.
I think it's a fair.
To be honest with you, I think that's a true statement.
Yeah, I think when you think about the billions of people on the planet, and there are governments out there that just don't give a shit. Ethics be damned. We'll do what we want.
They're not bound by any morality or
no. That crimes of moral turpitude thing does not apply to them.
No.
Like, the ethics line, that whatever that line is, that
the ethics is not included in their constitution.
No, it's gone. It doesn't exist. No. And they just do whatever they want just to see what happens. I mean, you can't tell me that some of these people out there who are like, the doping that Russia does, they haven't found ways to make people like using like CRISPR or whatever technologies are, that they don't have labs dedicated to making a stronger, better, faster.
For sure they do. Like that's the thing. People say like that can't be like, how big the world is. Do you know what governments have gone through and what they're? It's just like anything. Like when they say truth is stranger than fiction.
Yeah,
I think that's totally true.
100%.
I think so.
The truth is always wilder.
Yeah, you're like, holy shit, has that possible? Like there's some books that you'll be like we talk about like how people can our people are treated. There's this one book. It's called something about the Red Tsar. It's about how Stalin was treating. I think it's about how he was treating his the Russian people.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember. I don't know the content of it, but I remember saying that a couple of people who read it, including like guys like people like Elon Musk, for example, other people like just people who've read it, they said like. I talked to people at chapters. One person read it. She's like, "Are you sure you want to buy this book?"
Oh God!
And I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Why?" She's like, "Do you know the history of it?" I said, "No." And she's like, "This book is so disturbing." Yeah,
I'm not surprised, man.
Yeah.
In that era, you have to think of things like the Holodomor. Like, imagine that idea happening in 2022. It does happen. I'm sure there's wild shit in North Korea happening right now.
Mm-hmm.
But during that era where they were trying to starve out the Ukraine, when they were having to put signs up telling people that it's a sin to eat your children.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just make sure you understand this concept.
Yep.
That we are going to starve out a people. We're just going to starve them to death in the millions.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to make sure it's so bad that they just, like, give in to us.
Yeah.
And they refuse to give in, but they put up signs in their country saying, remember, it's a sin to eat your children.
Yeah.
Like, that's how bad shit got.
Yeah, you have to be reminded of that.
You're reminded of that kind of stuff.
When you're like coming to your child like this.
Yeah.
Like,
it's the road,
yeah,
man.
that's right.
It's like a Cormac McCarthy novel. Like, it was fucking brutal out there.
Yeah.
And then, like, that's not even that far back in our human history. But go further back to all that stuff they're talking about, like Genghis Khan.
Mm-hmm.
Genghis, assholes. Mm-hmm. Genghis Khan and
it's Genghis Khan.
Genghis Khan.
Genghis Khan.
It is. It's excellent. But that whole thing about how there are mountains of bodies.
My teeth are white.
Yeah, they're very white. But the mountains of bodies thing.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, there were people who walked in that one town, that one city,
mm-hmm.
after he'd ransacked it. Like, it's a mountain we got to cross. I'm sure it was a mountain. Probably the height of, like, the tallest tree in your neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
But think about it for a second. Next time you're outside, look at the tallest tree in your neighborhood and think of a stack of bodies as high as the tallest tree in your neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
Rotting corpses.
Yep.
And this is documented by, like, hundreds of thousands of people
mm-hmm.
who knew what was going on and tried to warn other armies that, hey, if you go over there, mountain of bodies.
Yeah.
That's insanity, man.
I know it's crazy.
That's madness. Humans are capable of just like the worst shit ever.
Yeah, I should give you this book. I don't know if you want to read it. It's the Rape of Nanking.
No, I've studied that intensively.
Yeah, it's
that's
God,
again
it's
not
so
far back.
It's so disturbing. Yeah,
not far back in our human history.
Yeah.
And we got the gall to like call those little cherries Nankin cherries.
Jesus Christ, yeah, I know that book. I read it. I was like, when I saw it, I was like, I have to read this book. And I read it, and I bought it. And the person's like, I bought it, and the guy didn't say anything, but he's like, and I was like, yeah, just give me it. And I went home and I read it,
mm-hmm.
and it's so, like, I knew what happened,
mm-hmm.
but I never looked at YouTube videos or whatever like that. But the just when I got to the part where they showed pictures and stuff like that of just like just bodies upon bodies just being like kicked into like just into ditches and stuff like that. It's just
ridiculous.
It's just I'm like Jesus Christ.
That term, the rape of Nanking, is not like facetious.
No, it's not. It's
accurate to what happened.
It's accurate, or if it's I think it's like it's being kind. Yeah,
I think you're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah, it's just
to think like Japan's image just bounced back.
Yeah,
like I mean,
I'm not sure. Yeah, exactly. I'm not sure how like old school like Chinese people like look at Japanese people and be like,
they hate them.
They hate them. Like even like old school Punjabi people, the way they look at Muslims, they're like, we don't forget.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah, what you did to our gurus and stuff like that. So
there's a lot of like, and that's why like the whole concept of like religion just fucks me off, man. Like the whole idea. Now the rape of Nanking is different. That wasn't like a religion based situation. That was like war based.
That was war based, yeah.
But yeah, like the whole like the entire idea of religion, to think that somebody is different because they just happen to be born on the other side of an imaginary line and happen to think that something else is a representation of whatever they think God is.
Yeah.
It's like you get rid of all that stuff. You get rid of the idea of borders, get rid of the idea of religion. Everybody, at least for a little while, might chill out until they find the next dumb thing. Again, we're same problems, man. We just repeat the same stupid mistakes.
Yeah, I know. Like that's the wishful thinking that we can just if we just
get rid of one problem.
Just get rid of like just say, you know what, guys, religion is no longer a thing. Open board stuff like that is like, you know, the problem is that we just cannot trust humanity with having open reign on just do whatever you want.
We'll find something else.
They'll find something else to like destroy.
Like you think of the idea of the Bible, right? Like all the Bible. Like, and again, people will be like, "Well, what do you know?" It's like, "Well, I study the shit out of religion. That's what I know. I've got my own personal history of the religion. I'll
let you take this thing. I have no idea. I don't study religion.
I've studied my religion. Well, the religion that I was born into. I've studied the Buddhism. I've studied Christianity, like Old Testament, New Testament, you name it. I've gotten deep into it because I was always very curious about this idea of religion. To me, it's like old school Avengers. Mm-hmm. But just to think that, like 2,000 years ago, whatever, 2020, 22 years ago, this potential thing happens that changes the concept of religion. Mm-hmm. And it's looked at as a cult for, 300 years, 400 years until somebody decides, well, we can manipulate this and make some money. Mm-hmm. And that's a religion. That's the idea of a religion. And then you get all these old stories that are like parables, probably ways to live your life. There are tons of things that exist in every religious text out there mm-hmm. that you can take and be a better person for. Yeah. You can take it out of that, and you can become a better person if you just decide to take those things. But then you go to war over dumb shit. Like, the dumbest thing to me is, like, foreskins. Like, the whole idea, it's like, we're gonna seal a land deal with Abraham, but he's got to hold his kid up against a rock and just snip off the top of his dick. That's it. Yeah. Don't kill a goat. We're just going to just snip off. Yeah. And
they picked 13. That because they picked that up. They probably chose that because they're like, hey, what painful thing and what would affect his child's what could affect his child's manhood the most?
Literally a blood sacrifice. Yeah. It's literally like a way to seal a deal on the promised land. Mm-hmm. But it's like the idea of that, just like it blows your mind. People thought, like if you told somebody today in 2022, hey, we'll give you back the land that we promised you, but you got to cut the tip off that 13-year-old's dick. Like, mm-hmm. Are you out of your fucking mind? Like, who told you that? How is that even something you could consider? But they're all just these stories and parables that people just took too far. That's it. That's all it is. More than likely, some dude's wife was sick of sucking dirty dick because his mm-hmm. foreskin was filthy. Mm-hmm. And she's like, you know what you gotta do? You gotta get rid of that shit because every time I go down there, it's awful. Yeah. You don't clean that shit properly.
No, I don't know. I just think it's I don't know. I think the when it comes to religion, I think people are just I think it hurts people when they're introduced to it too early, like when they're kids and they're like
indoctrinated.
And they're kids and their parents take them to church and like, you know what, this is the way you should be living your life. Right. I think if you're if you're introduced to it at an older age, you can take a look at it and be like, you know what, this is either for me or I'm not, this is not for me, or yes, or you could be like, you know what, I need something right to give me guidance or something like that. Then you're like, it's like, you know what, I agree with this stuff, but this stuff gives me like some sort of solace. This gives me some comfort. It gives me something to look forward to. Other stuff, I'm like, you know what, none of that stuff is bullshit.
It's all crap.
And so, but yeah, I think that's kind of the way I look at it.
Think about that too, right? What you just said, like you shouldn't be introduced to it at too young of an age because it'll warp the concept of what it is to you.
I don't think you should be introduced to anything. Other than books and
but it's the religious right.
Yeah,
it's like don't talk about gay people.
Yeah.
Before you're like too old enough to understand it.
Yeah, exactly. Or
Invisible Man in the Sky, cool.
Yeah, like when you're young, just like your concern should be like making friends and going outside and playing.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Yeah, and focusing on school.
But those are things that just kind of happen though. Like when you're a kid, like when you're a little kid and you just make friends, like you don't even know you're doing it. It's like they just show up. It's like they're like teeth. One day, like a mouthful of teeth. Like it's like you don't put any effort into getting it. You just show up in the street one day, and next thing you know, you're like, I have friends. Like these people are just my friends. And then like 30 years from now, you're like, how did I do that?
Yeah, I think really good friends that you keep in your life will do more for you than any religion can do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They keep you on the straight and narrow. They and just like teeth.
And you guys rely on each other.
You rely on each other.
Yeah.
You rely on your teeth.
Yeah, you rely on your team, and then you're there for each other. Yep.
There's something there.
God damn.
Yeah, bright teeth.
Yeah, they're clean.
They're really going there. Yeah, man. We got a little bit deep there. We got into some weird territory. That was a crazy shit. Let's get some like fun stuff. Hey, you shouldn't trust game devs because the game devs will just lie to you. They'll lie to you and put out shit products. I don't know what happened this week, but I was on Reddit and it just seemed like there were memes after memes, and I started realizing that they're not lying at all.
No.
Because like since I can remember getting onto Steam, and pretty much since DLCs. I think my first real introduction I had to how a game dev will fuck over an audience was on Borderlands 2, when they had the keys that you open up the chests and the crates.
I thought you were gonna say Battlefront 2.
I know, and then it was Battlefront 2,
yeah.
And then it was what was the one right after that? There was something else where it was just like the pay to win, or the gambling aspect of these games, and they were always broken aspects as well.
I know Battlefront 2 is one of the biggest ones
with EA.
Yeah, with EA.
Yeah, well, they basically introduced gambling to children.
Yeah.
Here, give me $40 and maybe you'll open a crate that might have something in it.
Yeah.
It's like that's total bullshit.
Yeah.
But the concept of like where you could basically release a beta, like you're a game dev, you crunch and then you delay and you crunch and delay and you crunch and delay, and you release a game that is just. It's just broken. It doesn't work properly.
Yeah. And
then you apologize, like we're sorry, we made a mistake, we screwed up. The next one will be better. But then another dev does the same thing. And then another one does the same thing. And then the one who initially apologized does the same thing. And they patch it, they release it. And Cyberpunk is a great example of that.
Cyberpunk is the example of that.
The current leading example, I think, of that.
Yeah. It's playable, but it's still broken.
Yes. So. Mm-hmm. And the same thing was happening for the longest time with like the things you own, right? You buy a phone. It felt like around 2013, 2015. If you bought a phone or any type of device that had like internet connectivity or a device that was going to like make your life better, you were basically buying something with broken firmware. Mm-hmm. You were getting a beta firmware and it was going to suck. Yeah. The camera was going to work right. The Bluetooth was going to drop out, the Wi-Fi wouldn't work, and a patch would show up in a month or two after all these devices were out there and all the information came back, and you realize, oh, we're just beta testers.
Yeah.
Like, all of us, we're just beta testers. We pay $700 for a phone to beta test your software so that the version we get gets patched and fixed after we get it.
Yeah.
And then the next one does the exact same thing.
Yeah, that's where I'm a huge fan of, like when companies like put out a beta, so you can take a look at it. Yep. Like, this is what like Battlefront 2042, whatever that is. They put out a beta, then I don't know why they rushed the game. The game was like they rushed it, and then it came out, and it looked like it was on the original Xbox. That's how bad the graphics were. It was
brutal.
It was like brutal. It was broken. I'm like, I don't play Battlefront. I'm sorry, I don't play Battlefield, but like that's just. Oh, that's horrible.
But it's a lack of respect for your audience. Like it's a lack of like empathy to a lot of kids. Because I mean, we as adults do play a lot of video games, but the market is aimed at like teenagers.
Yeah,
teenagers for the most part are going to be your long-term customer.
Those are the people. Those are the guys who play COD and stuff like that. Yeah,
and you're just fucking them over for what? Yeah. For money. Like you're going to make a ton of money off it. And then, you're going to release DLC that costs money. These patches are free, but every other little bit that you're getting is all going to cost these kids a lot of money. A lot of them don't have.
Yeah.
So to me, it's like, it's not like you're going to play video games and become like a mass shooter. Like, I think that's bullshit. I think the idea that is, but you are going to play video games and become cynical. You're going to become incredibly cynical, or you're just one of those kids who blows their parents' money.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's there's just too many like kids who are fat and overweight that's sitting at home playing video games.
Yep.
Where you should be outside and
get some sun, man.
Get some sun. Go for like. Go biking or something like that. Go play basketball. Go play soccer.
Do a sport.
Throw a ball around. I don't care what it is, but
if your skin is translucent.
If you're having problems getting up the stairs, then for dinner when your mom calls you up to turn off that Xbox, then you have problems. Yeah.
Mom.
Yeah.
I'm fine. Jesus Christ, Mom.
I remember my friend. We were back in the day. We were playing Nintendo. She'd be like. She had a thick Chinese accent. And she's like, now, San. She's like, come off it. She's like, turn it off. Come to dinner. Then their dad would come downstairs, and he's like, come out for dinner. And he's like, Nelson's like, go, we're almost done. And he's like, and when he would die, he's like, oh, you're dead. Let's go.
Those are the stories that, like, because I mean, minorities stuck together for the most part. We did as kids.
Yep.
So I've got great stories. Like my friends' parents, Korean accents. Mm-hmm. My friends' parents, like English accents.
Oh yeah.
Like straight up, like thick Scottish bros.
Oh yeah, just great. And now he's my pharmacist.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, those are the stories that built us as human beings.
Yeah.
How that cool stuff. I think I was gonna give you the China and the Saudis and Top Gun. How we realized we don't need foreign money for any of our stuff anymore.
Yeah.
If Hollywood makes a movie, apparently they don't need China.
Yeah,
Top Gun apparently did very well without any kind of Chinese money.
Yeah, I think.
Goldblum.
Yeah, Top Gun looks really cheesy and dumb, and it looks like it's gonna be so much fun to watch. So
yeah,
it's gonna be my Fast and Furious.
Mine too, man. I'm on board.
Do you want to go see it on Saturday?
For sure.
No, not this Saturday. Yeah, your wedding's on Saturday. Yeah.
But no, I'm on board. I am on board for any kind of like fun, dumb, big, loud.
Okay, I'm gonna go see it. I'll see it with Jaskiyeth on Saturday. Then let me know whenever you want to go. We'll go together.
I'll watch it again.
Yeah.
You'll watch it again. I'll watch it for the first time.
Yeah.
I love the idea of a big dumb action movie. I am on board with crazy Tom Cruise. I think everything he does is very calculated. I think when he loses his mind on a set, when he snaps and screams, that's a PR stunt. Don't fall for it. When he laughs at a silly joke, that's bullshit.
That's bullshit. Yeah.
The man is a robot, but he makes some wildly fun movies.
Yeah, he does.
I'm totally on board with this crazy.
Yeah.
His brand of crazy, I'm buying.
Yeah,
pretty good at that.
I'll go see it.
I'll go check it out. Anything else? Got anything else?
No, not really. I think
fast radio bursts.
What?
Fast radio bursts. We have fast radio bursts hitting our planet.
Oh yeah, we do. That's right. Yeah.
That's right.
Okay. Sorry.
It
took me a while.
We've got fast radio bursts coming from like deep in the galaxy towards us, and we don't know what they are.
I don't know. I'll be honest with you right now. I think society's heading for, in the next couple of years, we're heading for a colossal change, a paradigm shift, good or bad.
You're using some like MIT words, like TED Talk words.
Yeah, where it's like, like the world is like this, like let's say from, I don't know, 1980s to like 2000, right? Mm-hmm. So that was our time period of like where like we started with technology here, and this is where we are right now in 2022. I think in the next 5 years we're going to see another thing like that, where it's like another like big jump, and it's like dealing with like viruses and with world powers, energy, food shortages, population decline. I think that's all going to have to be either addressed or we're going to be dealing with it.
You kind of think we are in that early stages, not to be like facetious. But in the early stages of what we talked about,
words now.
Yeah, using big words.
Yeah, you sound like Stephen A. Smith.
The early part of like what they kind of talked about before Wrath of Khan, like the stuff that built Khan, the eugenics wars, the weird like how the world went into like a deep decline, and then Star Trek happened. We're there. We're about to go through that.
Yeah, I think honestly that we're gonna be, and we've talked about this, how like society. Changes happen, so like technology progresses at such a fast rate. Now, whether that technology is going to solve problems for us or create more problems for us, I don't know. But I know that we've never dealt with this many. I can't remember the last time we've had to deal with this many situations on a global scale where we're all dealing with the same thing together.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time we did this.
World War I?
Well, let's say World War I, for example, right? But like we're all dealing with Corona, we're all dealing with high energy prices, we're all dealing with the food shortage, and we're witnessing this war in Ukraine, which is like having ripple effects throughout the industry, right? So, and the cost of living is going up like crazy. So that's something we're all dealing with together. Now, how we're gonna get out of that, and how we're gonna deal with that, and how we're going to move on. How is society going to like just are we going to make, you know, hard rock like just changes, or are we just going to be like, you know what,
burn it all down?
Are we just gonna like
burn the whole thing to the ground?
Exactly. So they're just gonna be like scorched earth. So I don't know.
It could go either way. I mean, it feels like right now, at the very least, we're gonna be looking at like economic crises worldwide for the next 25 years.
I think so.
I think you can look at that. Gas prices will not go down. I don't think we're ever gonna see like a reset back to 99 cents. It's over.
No, I don't think so either. Yeah,
it's gonna be electric cars where you're paying $8 a day to fill your tank, or you know, you're more frugal and it's like $8 every other day. But you're looking at a drastic change in the way we do things, or it's gonna be either way. It's gonna be crippling to the economy, but it's gonna be either very crippling or moderately crippling.
Yeah,
based on how we move forward as a world.
Yeah, and the thing is, like the leaders of like the most powerful nations, like this thing is too like this could be short term thinking as well. Like look at who's in charge of Russia? Like Putin is he's calculating. But he's a total maniac. Then you have like Biden. The Biden administration is the worst administration in the last like since the Jimmy Carter. Look, well, he's the worst since Jimmy Carter.
I think he might be worse than Carter, man. Yeah. Like Jimmy Carter was a clown show, but like the whole Biden administration is a facade.
It's
not real.
It's terrible. It's laughable. It's like sometimes I watch it. I'm like, I want to laugh at. Okay, Biden's. He's a husk of a man. Yeah. He doesn't say anything. He just sits there and he just like.
Come on, man.
Yeah. They like he's useless. Like he's totally useless. Like, but Kamala Harris is equally as useless.
Well, she's an awful person.
I have no.
For anybody who was like rah, it's a lady and she's like half Indian, half black. She's a minority sandwich. She's awesome. It's like, well, look at her record. The people who didn't deserve to go to jail. Yeah. Going to jail. Yeah. She's like a dirty cop. I've said it a lot of times. Kamala Harris is a dirty cop. Yeah. The only difference is she's not a white man. If a white man did the same stuff that she did, she'd be vilified by everybody across the board.
Yeah, I think
she's as bad as a white man.
I think when she went to Ukraine or something like that to talk about what was going on in the situation there, I think someone asked her a question. She started laughing.
Oh, on the stage, right?
On the stage,
when she was sitting there, they were doing like a back and forth because she had no answer. She did not answer it, and then she double talks her way out of it. Yep. And everybody's like, "What are you doing?"
Oh yeah.
What are you doing?
Did you see when she interviewed Charlemagne the God? When he interviewed her?
No.
He cut the shit out of her. He goes, "Who's running the country?" Straight up to her face, and she goes, "Charlemagne, you know better than that." I goes, "I'm a black woman, and you're whatever." And he's like, he basically said, "I don't give a shit. You tell me who's running the country right now."
Look, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, they've had a bad run. There were like obvious, and whatever the Daily Show and the Comedy News did at the time, from 2000 right until the end of Bush's term, horrible. Yeah, I mean horrible, right? Whatever they're trying to make him into like a weird kind of grandpa for the left now. Like he's painting toes and it's great and it's awesome. Like Bush's buddy with Clinton and Obama. It's awesome. No, awful. Yeah. Handcuffed Obama from day one to the end. Handcuffed completely. Got nothing done. Yeah. Ineffective. Really great to see that a black guy got into the office, but at the same time, his story is amazing. And as far as being a human being, I'm sure he's a wonderful human being. Yeah. And his heart is obviously in the right place. Handcuffed, ineffective, nothing happened. Yeah. And then you got Trump, gong show, through and through. But if the man had just kept his mouth shut and just not tweeted, on paper, not the monster that he actually ended up making himself into. Yeah.
Like, I'll give Trump one thing, man. He wasn't a war president, which was good. He didn't start anything.
No, he didn't start any wars.
Because people were like, oh, he has his finger on the... You think he's actually going to do that?
No. He didn't have the mental capacity to pull it off.
No.
And we saw that. But now, whether or not it's because of the people he aligned himself with, or the people he felt Kramered his way into with, on paper, if he just kept his goddamn mouth shut.
Yeah, that wasn't
gonna Twitter.
That was not gonna happen.
It wasn't gonna happen. No. On paper, he was like 50-50. Like 50-50 in effectivity. Yeah. And then you got Biden, who, like you said, he's just a... Come on, man. That's all you get. That's literally all you get from that guy.
He's a husk of a human being.
The husk of a human being. He's the turkey from Christmas Vacation.
You see when... Yeah, exactly. You see when people... Yeah, like that's a good one, yeah. I mean, when you see him like talk to the mic and people are asking questions, he just looks at them like this.
This guy winces and stares at him.
He's like, yeah.
But what do you want me to talk about, pizza?
Yeah, we're gonna work on cancer research. I'm like, I was talking about COVID.
Yeah,
they just turns away and walks away.
They've had like 22 years of garbage, of hot garbage. Like, how did that happen?
I don't know.
I mean, just like, well, money. I mean, you know, whatever you want to say. The
money, lobby groups.
Yeah. And fucking the Saudis and Osama, and all that crap. Whatever you want to say. It's like make them look relevant.
It's corruption at the highest level. And it's like, yeah, that's all it is. And being like trying to hold on to power.
Yeah,
that's all it is.
A lot of that.
Yeah.
So I mean, it is nice to see that the Taiwanese flag was back on Maverick's jacket. Yeah. We don't need China's money. Maybe that's the driving force. Maybe that's what Tom Cruise is going to do for us. He's going to push us out of corruption. He's going to get his hand in there and just shove the poop back in the colon. And just shove us out of corruption.
Do that again.
He's right up there. And like one of those like fucking like straight corruption back in the body.
Yeah. I think he still has. That's his old bike in that movie too, right?
The original bike,
I think
or
so. Yeah.
Like a very nice replica.
Could
It's not the original. Kelly McGillis. It's not the original Kelly McGillis. They were like, you know what? We like you in the movie. We like. How do you look? Which is like the most old school Hollywood for a movie that's like going old school Hollywood.
Meg Ryan as well.
Well, she's the Joker now.
Yeah.
So I mean, no offense, Meg Ryan, but you did that shit to your face that you shouldn't have been doing.
Yeah.
So, you know, whatever it is. But, like, it's old school Hollywood.
Yep.
They were like, give me the hottest broad to go in. Well, I don't know why I went Trumpy. Give me the hottest broad to go in with the guy there.
Oh, Jennifer Connelly. The fact that they got her is great. She's one of my favorites of all time.
How wild is it? Like, Tom Cruise still looks like 1980s Tom Cruise. And Jennifer Connelly still looks like 1980s Jennifer.
Oh, Jennifer. I love Jen. Those are career opportunities where she was in that Target all night. Mm-hmm. Oh, that movie's so good. If you haven't seen that, go watch that movie.
Yeah, you should go watch that.
Yeah,
a lot of good movies out there.
Yeah,
we'll watch a few of them. Probably come back and talk about them. Good return to the podcast, though.
Yeah, I think
so. Nice little comeback. Mm-hmm. We ranted a little bit. We had some stuff written down. We had a lot of stuff that wasn't written down. Mm-hmm. We went in one direction, then we hypersonic nuclear missile into a different direction.
Indeed.
I did this a lot. I did the up yours thing.
What's that thing on which thing you do on your forum?
What's that?
What's that thing?
There you go. There you go.
Yeah,
we had a good episode. A nice return. We are back mostly full time. I'll be in London for a little bit. I'm going to record a podcast there.
Okay.
And then you're going to start doing that thing where you're going to record yourself.
Yeah, so with my new DJI Osmo 5.
No, Osmo 5 gimbal. And then we're going to gimbal. Get to the gimbal.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna move on from there. We're if you don't know, we're on Spotify.
Yeah.
I think I've made a real hard decision. I didn't know exactly how I was gonna do it. Mm-hmm. If you can't find us after this podcast, just go to Spotify.
Yeah.
Spotify, Apple, Google. That's gonna be where we are. I know we're on iHeartRadio. We're on Stitcher. We'll be back on Stitcher. We're on Stitcher and iHeartRadio and a lot of other places as well. You can usually get this podcast in other places. If that's where you're getting it and you don't hear us after this, go to Spotify. Go to Spotify, Apple, Google. Those three sources will always be there and eventually will be everywhere else again.
Yeah.
But I'm making a little bit of a change in how we upload. So go to Spotify. Mm-hmm. I don't want to yell that into the microphone.
Yeah.
Like the Get to the Chopper.
Go to Spotify.
Excellent.
Yeah.
At Backside Attack. Anything else you want? Oh, yeah, I didn't do the thing. Don't do it. Just do the thing.
Peace out.